All right, let's get right into this Kevin Durant build. Probably the hardest player to make a build for. If you look at NBA.com or any kind of sports app where you look at for scores, Kevin Durant is listed now at 6'11". I'm not going to make this build 6'11" because I want to be as fast as I possibly can while still maintaining that Kevin Durant-like movement. So I'm going to make him about 6'10". I'm going to put his wingspan at 7'3", and his weight is going to be at 212. I mean, you can make him taller if you want. 6'11", he's just about the same height as DeMarcus Cousins and DeAndre Jordan, it looks like in that one picture that surfaced years ago. But I'm not gonna make him 6'11". I'm gonna stick with that 6'10", so that he's still tall, but at the same time still pretty fast. First attribute I'll talk about is the shooting, because obviously Kevin Durant's a great shooter. I'm gonna up his 3 to a 79 and his mid-range to an 88. 88 mid-range gives us really good badges. I did it mostly for the green machine to be gold. I want to be able to consistently green with this build, especially being so tall. I'm not too worried about blinders and deadeye because I'm a tall build. And if you've watched my Tyrese Halliburton build, I love post control. It's going to be on all of my builds moving forward probably this year, because I love post fade phenom. I love the way that I can use it. I love the way that I have Mini Magician on gold and I can just stop, and now all of a sudden I post fade phenom on Hoff. And I mean, this build can do everything you want shooting wise. You're 6'10", you're really tall. You don't have to be the primary guy if you don't want to. You're gonna get your shots just about whenever you want. You can create off the dribble. You can, you can just do whatever you want. You're a unicorn. You're Kevin Durant. And if you can get to starter 3 where you get more Kevin Durant animations and you start doing step backs, you literally become unguardable with this build. With the Kevin Durant build, I really want to be called some sort of 3-level threat. So I'm going to put my dunk up to an 84 and my standing dunk is going to stay at a 40. This is going to make it so that I can finish at the rim with ease, and I definitely can. At 6'10", you know, when you're playing twos, especially, you can have a bigger guy on you. And because of this, you're going to be able to get in your bag. Eventually, we're going to talk about playmaking, but you can dribble and create to get to the paint. Once they realize that you can shoot, and you can do a midi, and you can do a post fade, you can do a catch and shoot, and you can do a dribble shoot, I mean, they're going to have to get up on you, and them being so slow, they're not going to have the chance to actually contest you at the rim. You could put your layup lower, your dunk lower and up your layup, but I'd rather dunk. I'm 6'10", like I'm just gonna dunk. I'm gonna pump fake if they try to block my dunk and then just lay it up. But you really, I can understand you wanting to lower your dunk to get higher layup, but for me, I'm gonna take my dunk, where it's at right now. All right, now let's talk about the playmaking, because this is kind of what Durant is very good at for his size. Yeah, I can shoot, yeah, I can finish, but he's very good with playmaking and making plays. For me personally, I'm just upping my ball handle to 75 and doing max speed with the ball at 70. This is going to give you Big Driver Hall of Fame eventually once we touch our physicals, which could be the most underrated badge in 2K if you think about it from the standpoint of how cheap it is to get it Hoff. I understand you got to be bigger to get it, but man, it's worth it to get it. And for me, I like to get my teammates involved, so I'm going to up my pass to an 89 pass style. I love Tyrese Halliburton. All right, Tyrese Halliburton pass style is the best pass style in 2K. Passing is interesting because you don't necessarily need it, but it helps you. The higher pass you have, it will help you make crazier passes in terms of my back is turned, I'm just gonna be able to throw it over my head or whatever the case may be. I like to bail out with this as well. If I'm doing a post fade, I'll pass out of it. And that's really what I use it for. I highly recommend getting this to an 89 if you're a point guard, especially. For me, being the 4, if we play a zone, I like to stay in the middle of the zone and kind of just play in the mid-range, post fade, step back, and if not, kick it out. But obviously, with your build, if you decide to make something like this, your pass can go down to an 80, and I think it would be just fine. All right, now let's talk about the defense, all right? I'm already 6'10", so I'm going to be able to guard the post a little bit. So we're going to take this up to a 72. I think it's going to go back down to a 72. Yeah, we're going to go to a 72. If you can get up to a 74, great, but I've been holding my own down there with a 72 interior defense. Really don't have any problems with that. I also want to be able to guard the perimeter because obviously Kevin Durant can guard the perimeter. We're going to max this out at an 82 or get close to maxing it out so we can get the Challenger on silver, ankle braces silver. You can definitely guard guards. I mean, you're big enough to guard them. Excuse me, you're fast enough to guard them, and you're big enough to get a contest with your long arms with that 7'3" wingspan. Now you got to pick between steal and block. All right, which one do you want to do? I wish I could steal better. I'm going to put it at a 60 so I can get interceptor on bronze. You definitely cannot gamble a ton with interceptor bronze, but you can still play a passing lane correctly and do it smart, and you'll be able to get a steal often. So I wanted to be very good at blocking, so I took this up to an 87. Eventually, we would get anchor silver. Chase down specialist, I believe, will get to gold, and Pogo might get to silver. I'm not sure, but I'm an elite blocker with this guy. I really like the way that I can block, and I want to be able to board at least a little bit. So I put my rebound up to an 83. That way I can get rebound chaser on silver. And I really like the defense that's on this build. I think that I can guard the perimeter. I can guard down low. I can get blocks. I can play passing lanes. I can get rebounds. This is kind of a perfect build for rec randoms. I'll drop a video playing rec randoms eventually, but defensively I can do everything. There's no way in a game of 2K that I can't get involved. And that's what I like about this build. You're going to max out your physicals or pretty close to it. We're going to get immovable enforcer on silver, which I think is arguably the best badge in the game defensive-wise, immovable enforcer. I think silver's plenty. Obviously, you'd love to get it gold, but that's, whatever. To help us with blocks and dunks, we're going to touch the vertical a little bit. I think we're going to take this vertical up to about an 80 vert. And an 80 vert is going to make us obviously jump for the boards, get the necessary badges that we need for block. And it's really just a high vertical in general. Max out the stamina, and that's our build. All right, you're 6'10", 212, 7'3". Look how well balanced it is, though. Like, you have stats everywhere. Like, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I have no complaints with this build. Now, I swear when I made this build before Season 3, we got shades of Kevin Durant. Unfortunately, we don't get it this time. We get the green light Michael Porter. We get an up-and-coming stud in Franz Wagner. And we get washed, stinky old Scottie Pippen as our comparisons. But obviously, we're not really too worried about that. All we really were caring about was a 3-level threat. And it just happens to be a diming 3-level threat. That's all right. If there's anything that you would change with this build, let me know. This is what I've been dominating in 2K with. I think I have an 86 win percentage in Pro-Am. 80% win rate in the city. So I'm not complaining about this build. Let me know what you think about it down low. Subscribe, like. I love you. Mwah.